Hey everyone, I'm Airier, and this is going to be why Destiny, not Bungie, Destiny hates solo players. It's actually not just because functionally this is a multiplayer game, and that's true, and that does really emphasize the multiplayer aspect and just the social impact. But the game itself is built around, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, the story of Destiny is built around de-emphasizing solo play. Now, before I go any further, see that little button right down there? Don't forget to hit it. It's the subscribe button. It'll take you right to the page to do it. Press it. Press it a few times if you want. The first time is the only one that matters, but the second time just feels good. Yeah, now that that's the way, thanks for pressing it. Let's get back to it. The thing about Destiny is that it's always been described as the light v the dark. It hasn't been described well at all. I mean, the story in game is minimal. But the story out of game with the Book of Sorrows and the Grimoire is actually considerably massive. And one of the biggest secrets they have, and I'm going to consider anything in the Grimoire a secret because they fucking hide it outside a game. It's like, hey, we got all this story, we're not going to tell you about it. Fuck you. I might be a little annoyed about that, but that's me. When it comes to the Book of Shadows especially, sorry, the Book of Sorrows, my apologies, the one from the Taken King, there were sections where we got specifically the darkness described from Oryx's perspective. And their entire reason of why they were what they were wasn't that they were evil, wasn't that they wanted to kill everything. Killing everything was a side effect of what they said their reason was. Now take it with a grain of salt. This is Oryx writing about what he thinks the darkness said. And even when they have the darkness speaking, and yes, there was a section where the darkness came and spoke to him, and boy was that just weird. You gotta take it with a grain of salt because it might not be true. But the general feeling is that each level of that, in the different views, where in some of the Grimoire, it was that the darkness abhorred life because it didn't conform to the rules of the universe. And that the darkness actually did like life, but only when it conformed to its rules. Specifically, the general feeling of the rule is that life is striving towards perfection, a form that cannot be stopped, and that the only thing that is just is if you are not able to be killed. It's kind of what the darkness goes on. Like the Vandals, now that they've been crushed, sorry, not the Vandals, the Fallen, who used to be Eliskni, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, became the Fallen after the darkness tore through them. The Traveler left them, and they became what we know now, basically pirates and thieves, who only respect what they can't steal from, which is something you only find out from the Grimoire, not in game. That does annoy me. But the reason Destiny hates solo players is because of all this layer of gameplay.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's basically the two sides of this game. There's the light and then there's the dark. They mention in the Grimoire that there was a more or less a theory. I think it was Toland who was talking about this the most. He said the basic premise was that the darkness saw three paths. There would be three empires at the end. There would be order, there would be law, and there would be conquest. And that conquest would easily win out and prove itself the best and have the most right to exist because of it. This is a year one prophecy from Toland, so take it with a grain of salt. They might have changed their ideas by now. But the basic premise does seem to hold true because it carried on into the Book of Sorrows, where they talked about how they weren't actually evil. They just wanted to make the universe perfect. But the only way to do that is to try and crush everything. And whatever survived being crushed was strong enough to deserve to exist. So they were perfect. The Traveler, on the other hand, seems to be in what was mentioned. And by Toland also mentioned that they were trying to unite everyone without competing as much. And that by working together we can be stronger. And he's like, but I don't believe that's going to happen. Toland's actual response was, I don't think this is likely. It is a long shot. It is against all odds. I wouldn't bet on it. Right there you see the dichotomy in this game. The darkness is putting one above everything because they are the strongest, they are the best, they deserve to be recognized, so only they deserve it. This is literally glorification of the individual, where the light is basically taking everyone and teamwork. That is why Destiny hates the solo player. As story, if nothing else, it is because the solo player is literally an agent of the darkness. In-game. Because that is one person defeating everything, proving their mettle against the enemy. And I just got kicked to orbit. Fuck that. I'm not going to do it in a map like this anymore. Yes, I am still here. Long story short, that's where this comes in. The light is based around teamwork, working together and doing that. The darkness, when you've noticed, the abilities are exactly the same. Even the Black Garden, when it had a piece like that thing there, that was a piece of the Traveler's Light taken and made darkness. The power itself is identical, but I also like to say it was returned to the Traveler, implying that the power again is identical. It's how you use it that really makes a difference. If it's used for more than just yourself, it's light. If it's used for an individual single person to conquer and take and claim and prove your own worth against everything else, basically, if it's me, if it's the solar player saying, I don't need anyone else, or specifically in game, the original Thorn quest where you were incentivized to fuck over your teammates to get exactly what you want, that is the darkness. It is literally putting yourself above everyone else because you can, because you are better. Where the light is going into a fire team of 6 people, going in and doing something amazing with other people, because on your own, you wouldn't be able to do that. That is what this dichotomy in the game is. That is why Destiny hates the solar player, because it is literally designed to emphasize the fact that you need teammates. The fact that it also makes a pretty damn good game when you do that is just, icing on the cake. And it really is a solid game. So while you're allowed to play solo, you're more than heavily emphasized to go as a multiplayer team, because that is the core of the game. You need people, and it works better with them. It's also basically going up to Toland and saying, fuck you, man. Which I kind of appreciate. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm not going to bother going into a private map like that just because it's annoying when you got to sit down and talk, but yeah. Again, don't forget to hit that little like button, sorry, not the like button, that's the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that. A like, comment if you want, share it if you want, and hope it helps. Hope it's something to think about, and yeah, this is just one of my favorite games, so if I see you around, hit me up. Later.